About facts, reaching it live from your number one talk news and sports radio station, 92.3 Nigeria Info here in Port Harcourt. I'm Dio. It's 12 minutes past 3 p.m. It's the Thursday edition, and Thursday edition is good because it comes before Friday edition. That's a good thing. That's a very good thing. And it's good to be here once again today. I hope you're having a good enough day as well, especially if you're stuck in Port Harcourt traffic at the moment, or having to snail through Port Harcourt traffic. But remember, it's not safe to complain about it these days. You might be deemed a criminal, so be careful with that. Just grumble under your breath and complain to yourself. Don't discuss it with anybody else. But you'll be fine eventually. It would all be well. A lot of the infrastructure development, no doubt, is a positive one. It's a welcome development. And I do imagine that it just might make life easier when the projects are eventually completed. Well, that said, welcome to the show once again. From now till about 7, we keep the conversation going. And a few matters up for discussion on the show today, as usual, starting with the traditional side comment. I do have a rant coming up as well, expressing some thoughts on it, and I'll take your thoughts in mind till 4. We've got business news at 4 o'clock. After that, more discussions coming your way, and we're talking the federal government's plan to tax social media tech giants. There's been an ongoing war, if you will, battle, war. Maybe war is more like it, but there's a battle at the Twitter, or the battle of Twitter, or with Twitter at the moment, I suppose. But there's no doubt been a war ongoing for some time right now, with what appears to be the federal government's determination to regulate social media. It has taken come to some sort of a head at the moment. But Delhi's reported this quite recently, and this one's the version from the cable. FG ready to tax profits made by Google, Twitter in Nigeria, says Oshimbajo. Maybe just a quick look at that story and what he's talking about. But then again, a few matters we're going to be considering as far as that story is concerned. But top on the list, of course, how can the federal government leverage on the growth of the social media industry? I mean, there's no doubt that there are Nigerians who are already leveraging on this. Can the federal government leverage on this? If so, how? Several matters involved there. There's the issue of regulation, there is the issue of taxation, and I do imagine a couple other issues as well. We're going to be looking at that on the show today, and I'll be having an IT expert and consultant, Dowell Mary, is going to be my guest for that conversation in the 4 o'clock hour. Join us for that. But a story that we're going to be x-raying, or will form the basis for the conversation once again, from the cable. FG ready to tax profits made by Google, Twitter in Nigeria. And I'd really like to take a quick look at, or a brief look at, some part of the story if I can. I think here we are. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says the federal government is set to tax profits made in Nigeria by global tech and digital firms not based in the country but with a significant economic presence. Yeah. Okay, we'll come to that in the 4 o'clock hour. Do join for that once again. At 6 on to 5, we've got the news update at 5 p.m. Let's see, after that. Governor Ganduje withdraws Gandola suit. Oh, yeah. You remember Gandola? There was quite some controversy, wasn't it, at that time? Well, the story cuts in Premium Times. Dollar video, Ganduje withdraws suit against newspaper publisher. You can find that, I think it's in Premium Times, I suppose. Yeah, I think it's the Premium Times. Dollar video, Ganduje withdraws suit against newspaper publisher. Once again, details in Premium Times. Maybe a quick look at some part of that story before moving on, if that's possible. The governor of Kano State, Abdullahi Ganduje, has applied to withdraw the suit he filed against daily Nigerian publisher Jafar over the publication that exposed the governor collecting a bribe. However, sources said the application is to enable him file a fresh suit against Mr. Jafar. Mr. Ganduje sued the publisher over a video he published in 2018 where he, Ganduje, was caught pocketing bundles of American dollars he allegedly took from a contractor. Mr. Ganduje, in a new application, asked the Kano State High Court to discontinue the case but gave no reasons for the application. Now, sources told Premium Times that Mr. Ganduje plans to file a fresh application and present new witnesses, having sacked one of the original witnesses. Mr. Ganduje's former media aide, Saliu Tanko, was initially one of the governor's witnesses in the case. He was, however, sacked on February 27 for criticizing President Muhammadu Buhari and the ruling APC on Twitter. All right, so we'll talk about that in the 5 o'clock hour as well. And a question I'll be asking at that time, well, a major question I'll be asking, so is, have we handled, has the incident has the Gandola incident been properly handled? Is what we'll be discussing in that hour. Has the Gandola incident been properly handled? Once again, that comes up after the news update at 5. Headlines 5:30. We've got major news at 6 p.m. that we'll do, and open season after that till about 7 when we wrap it up. During the open season, if you missed out on commenting on any of the issues discussed on the show, on the condition you haven't called in before then, you're welcome to do so. All right, and I think that pretty much is it on the show today. Any changes, you will find out. The sports camp will be in by 7 o'clock for extra time. So we'll keep the ball rolling right now with today's side comments, random stories, and thoughts that I came across as I checked out the news today. Let's see. I've checked out the news from earlier today. I do imagine some stories did catch my attention. His Excellency the Governor is on a commissioning and flagging off spree in the state at the moment. And I do imagine, once again, that some of, or possibly even a lot of those projects are going to be of immense benefit to peoples of the state. Maybe, in my estimation, some more proper planning would have been appropriate to go with it, because it is very difficult indeed for people to be able to get around and move around, and still ply their trade and do their business, because sometimes it kind of strikes me that we kind of get the impression that government doesn't really consider how its policies or its or policy implementation or actions or inactions affect people, because it's all connected. It's all connected. Government collects taxes from businesses. These businesses are able to pay these taxes because they're able to stay in business. They're able to stay in business because they're able to save and utilize effectively valuable man hours. All of these things are intensely, immensely connected. And it would be good if government appreciates and understands that in carrying out or effecting some of these, actions of it. It's there is a huge interconnectivity really, and it will be nice if government once again does consider all of these things in making these decisions and these choices. Let's see what has caught my attention. Okay, I think there was something on the news yesterday. There was something on the news yesterday, which caught my attention. I think I didn't mention it as part of my side comments deliberately because of some other matter that was discussed on the show yesterday. I think that was the reason I left it out. But a said item, by the way, from the bulletin yesterday. Where is that story? It's here somewhere. Well, here's the story. Governor Isemweke says the Rivers State government received 52 billion naira out of the 78 billion naira federal government refund for the construction of federal roads. The governor, during the flag off of Woji and Lilingwan Refinery Road project, said 16 billion naira was given to the River State University for the upgrade of facilities. I've got a sound clip here. I hope it does contain. It was on the bulletin yesterday, and like I said, I deliberately left it out because of some discussion that was to come up later on. But let's listen to the sound clip right now.
The young man is saying they gave me 78 billion naira refund. He says a PhD holder. I didn't know that he don't understand what they call promissory note. 78 billion naira was not backed up by cash by federal government. 78 billion naira was approved by federal government, but not cash. And so, bank has to come in to take it and discount the government is going to pay them back. Federal government will pay them back in the next 4 years to the bank. What if I say government got was 52 billion out of 78 billion? Out of that 52 billion, I gave University 16 billion. I don't know the kind of PhD people who wears a PhD.
Your Excellency, with all due respect, government doesn't work that way, and people have a right. Residents, almost anybody for that matter, has a right to demand and request information of government. It is not an affront on government, on excellencies or honorables. It is not an abuse of their office or a disrespect to their positions when the person, especially a citizen, makes these requests. Especially once again, when this request is being made on the basis of information that comes from government. Because Your Excellency you might remember, this is a story from the Vanguard, and there are versions of it in just about every daily. Captioned, Wike confirms receipt of 78 billion naira FG refund. Now, here's the story from the Vanguard some months ago, January precisely. Federal government has refunded to the River State government the 78 billion naira the state spent on federal projects. Governor Nyesom Wike has confirmed. Wike gave the confirmation Wednesday at Ishokbo, where his special guest, former Governor Peter Obi, commissioned internal roads, phase 2 in Ikwere local government area. The governor announced, quote, this is a quote, by the way, of His Excellency the Governor himself, POS Africa. Rivers people, the federal government has refunded us the money. I have not touched a dime yet, and it is in the bank. I will use it for project execution. I kept it to tell those who are making noise to know that I am going to work till the last day in office. I will continue to work for the interest of our people. I'm not resting. They need to know that I will make sure what is supposed to be done for the people of Rivers is done. I will persist until we have improved and changed Rivers and bring it back to what it's supposed to be. End of quote. Now, the really critical part is the start of it. Quote once again. Rivers people, the federal government has refunded us the money. I have not touched a dime yet, and it is in the bank. I will use it for project execution. I kept it to tell those who are making noise to know that I'm going to work till the last day in office. Now, end of quote. That statement suggests very strongly that you have all 78 billion naira in some bank account, and you have designed or mapped out, or at least are in the process of designing and mapping out, how you intend to expend that money. So, when Your Excellency states just a month ago that you have received 78 billion naira and it is in the bank, and you have not touched it, and then months afterwards, maybe because some persons are now asking questions and saying, how much do these bridges cost? Can we see documents as to the financials of these flyovers and several other projects you've executed in the past, executing now, or possibly even intend to execute in the future? What's going on with the 78 billion? So because all these questions are being asked now, then Your Excellency now comes up with, no, what kind of PhD do they have? We didn't get 78 billion. What we got was 52 billion. It does come off as being off somewhat. And that's why governance does not work simply based on what an excellency says. It doesn't work that way. It cannot work that way. And that's why when requests for information are being made by individuals or groups or organizations, government must supply that information. Because all this could easily be sorted out and understood if the Rivers State government would simply supply documents showing that, oh, this is what the federal government has released to us. This is how it was done. If it was properly explained, and not just explained, relevant documentation is also made public to show how much has been disbursed, how much has been received, how much has been expended. Then there will no need for questioning anybody's PhD and wondering what kind of PhD they are. Because once again, that is not how government works. No, it doesn't work that way, actually. So that's it. What else caught my attention on the news from today? I think that was from yesterday, but today, what else caught my and once again, there is a need for accountability in government. Accountability in government is not project. No, accountability is not project. A government at any level being accountable is not can you not see the bridge? Can you not see the road? That is not accountability. You must be able to present your books to the public. That's what accountability is. Not that's the bridge. No, it does that also. Sometimes I'm even amazed we're having these conversations. Really, I am. Well, let's see. What else caught my attention from earlier today? Let's see. The River State House of Assembly has approved the regulation for the prohibition of use of private consultants agents to collect personal income tax in the state. The bill was debated and passed during an early morning sitting today. It amazes me that it's 2021 and the River State, and here in River State, we're still struggling with an appropriate tax system. It's quite amazing indeed. We're still struggling with the rudiments of tax of tax collection in River State. Are we going to? Which one is local government going to collect? Which one will they collect? Who are Obiakpo boys? Who are not Obiakpo boys? Who is selling sticker? Who should not sell sticker? Which one is fake sticker? Who is supposed to collect sticker? Can we collect sticker? Who is settlement rate? Are we using consultant? Are we not using consultant? Are we using task force? No, we send them. No, we do not send them. They are boys. No, we don't know who they are. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's just plain ridiculous. Simply put, it's plain ridiculous. The irony is, it is in the interest of government to have a well-defined, functional, and workable, effective tax regime, tax system in this. It is in the interest of government to do that, and by extension, the people of the state as well. So why we keep having these confusions and this rigmarole as regards to the issue of taxes and taxation or collection in River State completely confounds me. Completely confounds me. But I hope we do get it right eventually. I very much hope so. And there are concerns right now. The military base and police station in Oyigbo are now heavily guarded. Our correspondent reports that the number of checkpoints in Oyigbo Road has increased. At the border between Rivers and Abia State, sandbags have been erected, serving as barricades. The military has been in Oyigbo local government area for the past 8 months since hoodlums burnt down the Oyigbo police station following the aftermath of the NSAS protest in October 2020. And, well, understandably, why security level may have been increased in Oyigbo, I do urge residents and visitors to River State to respect the boundaries, to respect our security operatives, and identify that they are one of us, whatever our misgivings may be about them, and do not attack security operatives, do not attack security facilities or installations, do not kill or attempt to harm them in any way. And if you come across any information to that respect, please share such information with relevant security operatives. They are our brothers, they are our sisters, and if we break down security, literally we are destroying ourselves as well. No matter what concerns we have with the security architecture in the state, if the security gets broken down completely, inevitably we are going to be affected as well. So let's all keep that in mind. So I think I have to wrap up today's side comments on that note. I do have to at this juncture. Thanks for listening thus far. And I do hope once again that the Booker Friday, the versatile CP, has been doing all that's relevant to ensure that he's able to repose the confidence of Rivers residents in the Nigeria Police Force Rivers State Command. Your Excellency, sir, I will resume my duties soon as your self-appointed senior special advisor, reminding you of critical matters. But for now, still taking stock of those things that you need to be reminded of. So please don't be offended, Your Excellency. I'll get back to that full time pretty soon. So I'll go for a break now. When I return, today's side comments comes up. Please stay. Today's rant, pardon me, comes up. Please stay with us.
Information is a two-way thing. Nigeria Info, it's your turn. Let's talk.
We start you off in the morning, keep you all day, and keep you company all night long. We are 92.3 Nigeria Info. The first talk station of the nation.
And now, hard facts.
Hard facts with Diode.
Welcome back. It is Hard Fact 91.3 Nigeria Info here in Port Harcourt. I'm Diode. 27 to go before 4 p.m. Pardon me. I do have a lot on my mind right now, and I'd like to rant for just a bit. Yeah, there's definitely something in my mind at this time, and I need to unbundle, need to let it out, express some thoughts on it, and you're welcome to express your thoughts and mine till 4 p.m. A lot is wrong with our society. I mean, there's no gainsaying that. It is the understatement of the millennia that a lot, or maybe even too much, is amiss and has gone haywire as far as our society is concerned. But in spite of all the idiosyncrasies that has pervaded our environment, our society, one would think that one of the few places, or there should still be some places where we can find some kind of refuge, where we can find some kind of respite. You know, it seems there's a lot that is not well with our society. It doesn't seem. I think that's a fact, actually. But in spite of that, one would assume, at least for sanity's sake, and hopefully correctly, that there are still some places, maybe not many, some institutions that somehow, in spite of all the craziness around them and around us, are still able to maintain some level of sanity, some level of provide some sort of hope that we can get it right. And one of such institutions should be in our schools, educational institutions. Because if in our schools, or if in our educational system, or in our education facilities, the madness has pervaded there, the idiosyncrasies has pervaded there, and all the things that are not working right in the country have now become commonplace there, I am forced to ask the question, what hope then do we have for the future? And I give this preamble because for the life of me, I cannot comprehend, I cannot make any head or tail of a story that I came across earlier today. And this was in our bulletin just a while ago, Rivers Today. As a matter of fact, I had a completely different rant lined up for today. Then I came across this story, and I had to have a total change of mind as to what today's rant was going to be. Now, here's the story. The principal of Rumuapara Community Secondary School along the East-West Road axis of Port Harcourt says military men were invited to the school not to punish any student but to caution them against a planned attack on some of their teachers. And I read that statement, and it sounds to me, no offense to this principal, I don't know who the person is, but it seems to me like a principal who is just desperate to make up for a major error. It seems like someone who is just struggling to put out some excuse as to why they may have floundered totally. Because there can be no reason under the heavens or even in heaven for a school principal to invite the military to their school. What, is there an external body waging a war against the school? Is there an external insurrection? Is another sovereign state or sovereign country which have they declared war against Rumuapara Community Secondary School? And the principal goes on to explain that they were invited to caution the students. Now, even if there was some kind of a security breach or suspected security breach in Rumuapara Community Secondary School, what happened to the police? Why not? If it were entirely necessary and it wasn't something that the school could manage, or the parents or the PTA could manage, or any other social structures in or around the school could manage, why not invite the police? Now, the principal spoke to our correspondent and complained of inappropriate behavior of the students during and after school hours, and called on parents to ensure they discipline their children properly. So the school principal of Rumuapara Community Secondary School wants to discipline students, wants to teach them the proper way, wants to instill some discipline in them, because some of them might be disorderly, some of them possibly are unruly, might even be going as far as threatening teachers. And the principal believes that the best way to correct these students, the best way to instill some discipline in them, is to invite the military. What kind of logic is that? What impact is that supposed to have on these students, no matter how bad they may be or they may be perceived to be? Now, earlier, a student of the school spoke of men. And by the way, what exactly happened? So this principal of Rumuapara Community Secondary School wanted to instill discipline in some students, and then decided to bring in the military so that the military will come to caution them, just to caution them. So that the military will caution them. But what did the military do? And by the way, it is not shocking what happened eventually, because everybody, I imagine, could have foretold what would have happened. Almost everybody, I imagine, could have predicted to a T what would happen. None for certain. Everybody, I think, knew, except, of course, the principal of Rumuapara Community Secondary School. Now, earlier, a student of the school spoke of men in military uniform flogging students. Apparently, that's what the principal meant by caution. And they invited the military to come and caution them. Apparently, the principal invited them to come flog the students. Otherwise, when the flogging was going on, the question I want to ask is, what was the intervention of the principal? Did the principal stop the flogging? So, men in military uniform flogging students at the community secondary school Rumuapara today. He said the men told the students to lay down inside the school gutter. Principal, let me use a term we are all familiar. Principal. Now only you welcome. Principal. So, the flogged students at the school told the students to lay down inside the school gutter. These are students you say are unruly and you want to change them. These are students you say are not disciplined, you want to improve them. So the solution is to bring in the military to lie them down in drainages, in gutters, and flog them. Principal. The student told our correspondent that the soldiers were invited to the school by the principal over a confrontation between a teacher and an SS3 student on Monday. Let's hear what these this students had to say about what the principal and his army friends, or her, I don't know whether it's male or female, did.
The boy church bango. Teacher can't tell us something come out. Teacher tell us something come out. And when the like when explain for teacher now, maybe for adult then they come out the bango. Teacher can't carry cane flog and for math here, and math here arise. We make it converse. Come out from school. Come back again. Come go meet teacher like me. Teacher go money make I buy medicine. I think go meet teacher now. No one here within touch. Teacher can't dance and say I don't come back to fight me. You know answer the teacher. Teacher can't carry cane flog again. Flog and for I here. You can't carry before this thing. Before they come out to the fight, then they come carry them go principal office. So now. Then now, I can't the boy, brother. I can't go say then give the boy suspension until enter we were reach.
What's even worse about this situation, principal, is that some of your students who you claim to be disorderly and unruly even have a better understanding of what their rights are than you, their principal. Because the student described the situation as human rights abuse.
Okay. Now I'm going to tell students like that.
And you carry your face like that for this kind of words, please.
This thing that they violate our human rights now. Sweeten they do, and then they violate our human rights. Now this is not okay. This is not okay. Me person like me, I feel police into human rights. Who be students? They're not supposed to treat us like so big cow. They're not supposed to treat us like this.
Principal. Apparently, you are the only one that will up. To conclude, do we have concerns with the behaviors, the attitudes of some of our students? I imagine we do. Whilst the school bears a great responsibility in molding the characters and behaviors of students, our society environment may not be playing its own role, may not be doing its own job. So is it unlikely that some of these students will come to school extremely unruly and misbehaving themselves? That's a given. However, if society is doing that, if the society is modeling these children in the wrong way, if the society is giving them wrong role models, if the society is destroying them, if the society is messing with their heads, the one place that they should go to and at least get some kind of hope, an idea of how things should work, is their school. And even if there are security breaches or criminal tendencies, there are still proper ways to go about dealing with this. Inviting the military under any guise to discipline or warn them, which leads to lying them down in gutters and beating them, cannot be the way to go. It cannot be the way to go. And once again, these students obviously have a better understanding of how things should work than even their principal. On that note, I end my round. Thanks for listening. I hope I didn't bore you. Any thoughts in my let's numbers to the same lines are open. We got 0817 923 0002 or 0003. That's 0817 923 0007 as well. We are live on facebook.com/Nigerian for PH. WhatsApp's on 0809 0306416. Please keep it brief and straight to the point. Once again, via Facebook, pardon me, it's facebook.com/Nigeria Info PH, and WhatsApp again on 0809 0306416. And let's see, I've got Simon on the line from GRA. Hello, Simon, you're welcome. Go on. Simon, you're welcome. Go ahead.
Hello.
Go ahead, Simon.
I can hear you.
Go ahead, Simon, for the last time, please.
Okay, this is normal in secondary school. When I was in secondary school, right now, this kind of situation happened. They brought police. Police did not solve the problem. It was military slug us in front of their barrel gate. The back one, that one, you lie down, you wet grass, and they just necessary. And principals, with little power they have, they are trying to oppress students, maltreating humans, people's children, because they think that they are principals, because they think they are leaders. How would the country work? Even when where students have to learn from, when they are being maltreated. I think that principal should stop. Thank you.
All right, Simon. I got Daniel from Makrika. Hello, go on, Daniel.
Yes, this is Daniel.
Go ahead, Daniel.
I'm calling you from
Daniel, please go ahead from Makrika. Go ahead.
Yes. I'm so much interested in this your program. You see, in our days, I attended a boys' school one in Okrika. And sometimes, if our classmates don't normally come to school, what our headmasters or headmistress did was to ask us to go to their houses and feed them. When we bring them, we will have all these our able boys around the corner. We will ask them to flog them. And I think that one teaches us a lesson. Even as I'm here, I'm still learning from that. And I love that disciplinary action. So for a principal to have behaved like that, I don't think it's wrong. Maybe you would have thrown it on the floor. What is your idea? Maybe for you it's wrong. That's why maybe you are.
I would very much, if you can hear me down, I would very much appreciate if you don't call to tell me what I should have done.
Okay.
All right. Good to hear from you, though. I've got Donatus from Ichi on the line. Donatus, you're welcome. Please go on.
Yeah, Mr. Dayo, good evening.
Hello, go ahead.
Please, this issue amazes me. Dayo, can you even... You didn't notice the raw English of the student reporting in that school.
I mean, that may not be the fault of the school. I mean, it should have learned the English language before getting to secondary school, you know. But
okay, Dayo, please.
But I understand the concern. It's a reflection of the quality of our education. I get that. Yes.
Yes, Dayo. If I may add.
Go ahead.
We have police for crying out loud. We have the PCA. Why going to the extent of the military? What if, peradventure, the student or students die? What will happen? Dayo, I'm in pains. I rest my case.
Okay, Mike is gone as well via WhatsApp. Monica goes, it's all reported that our military has so much lost value, so much so that they now go to secondary schools to engage students. At times we see them in markets with politicians' wives. Such embarrassment. Are those boys from a school in River State with that grammar, or is that grammar the official English of the school? Well, I condemn the act of the principal against the students. I asked that the curriculum of the school should also be investigated. That's from John. I don't blame the principal. I blame the military who honors such invitation. You should not even invite the police. This is supposed to be handled by civil defense if necessary. Maybe if there is crisis in the school whatsoever. I think I also blame the military. They have allowed themselves to be brought to the gutters. Civilian principle inviting the army to involve itself in civilian affairs. The military apparently don't know what its duties are. That's Peter from Zorba. Now, Peter, I agree with you. There's a problem with the military here. But then again, the principal is the custodian of that environment. The principal is, let's even assume that we have people who don't think, or some people who don't think in the military. That's why I said that there's a lot of, unseemly scenes in our society, in our environment, and some of these unseemly characters are in the military also. But that
yeah, good evening, sir.
Go ahead.
For me, I think it's not good. Inviting the military is showing how the society we are going down, and our system does not have respect for human rights. And if not, how will you take children who are in the school because of one issue or the other? You put them inside gutter, face down, and started flogging them as criminals or what? I don't know. It's very, very worrisome that
even with criminals, that should not happen. Even with non-criminals.
I don't know. We'll take this matter to human rights. At least, just as one of those boys said, their right has been violated. So what will the human rights do over this matter? Because there should be a case against this military people. Because this thing is happening every day, degenerating of our society by the military, the home military. They're supposed to be in the war front. They are not going to primary and secondary schools. Sure, it's a shame.
Mano, good to hear from you. Hello, Johnny, welcome.
Hello, Dayo.
Good day, John, go ahead.
What we are seeing today in Nigeria, there's something you always say that sometimes when I don't listen to your program, I just get very sad. Is that it's reflection of our society today. It's very sad that the military could be sent to school and they accept to go, and they have a leader that is leading probably that battalion or whatever they call themselves. You understand? Going to school to challenge them and whatever they want to do with the students. I wonder whether that school is the protection of protecting our boundaries, protecting us from aliens that want to come and fight us in this country.
It's a good question, really.
So that's,
yeah, good to hear from me as well. I've got comments of unruly army disciplining unruly students. Is this what our army has been reduced to? Boy Scouts. All right. Monday Ugochukwu goes, and he thinks this action will. Mondigo Davis goes, good method of discipline. It helps straighten us too in our time. Mondigo Davis, if it helps straighten you in your time, why is it getting worse now? Why are we getting reports that the students are getting even more unruly now? If all of these methods have been very effective in straightening these children out, as you claim. Prince Bliss on Facebook goes, I believe the principal did not understand the concept of discipline in school. You should go and read The Psychology of Learning. Ataisi Theophilus goes, you've seen what the Nigerian army has been reduced to. In the first place, which GOC released the army to that school? It's so pathetic that this is happening in our schools. All right. Kingsley Ogide goes, there are other 1,001 ways to instill discipline in students. Inviting the military to a secondary school, even where supposedly we thought we should set examples for others to follow, is where unimaginable things happen now. I've got I had Chim on the line, which is gone right now. Brighter Cherubim Kalia goes, I suspect maybe most of the students are so-called cultists. The principal is tired of their stupidity, but the army is a busybody. Okay, all right. Gospel Lago says, I like this. The rate of indiscipline in our schools and in the streets is unbearable. You know the irony, and I don't have a problem with you expressing your support of this, but the previous caller raised the question, assuming that during this punishment that some persons are hailing, one of those students, assuming one of the the army guys had overdone it, and the student had died, what do we say? What's going to be the narrative then? If some persons who are supporting this discipline in your community right now, if there's a court clash or there's something going on and the military call it and the military are brought in and we discuss it on Nigeria Info, you start shouting, they want to kill us. Marginalization. They are killing us, or they have brought the military. They have killed all of us. Chema, hello, you're welcome.
Hello?
Hi, Chema, go ahead.
Yeah, this is Chema calling from...
Go ahead, please.
I think the information you've given is not the truth.
Oh, really?
There is no gutter in Rumuapara Secondary School.
Okay.
So claiming that they push them inside gutter and flog them, I don't think that's the proper... I think that is untrue.
Chema, were they flogged?
Yeah.
Were they flogged?
Yes, they were flogged.
Chema, hold on.
Yes.
Were they asked to lie on the ground to be flogged?
Yes, they sat them on the ground.
So how that the really important part of that for you is whether there's gutter or not is
have
amazing.
You
But go ahead.
Out what these children are doing? Even to this, and you have heard of Rumuapara killing their fellow students in the school. They take them to the police. They come back, and now the principal just wants to threaten them so that they will desist from such acts. What prompted this was when a teacher asked a boy to remove his bangle, and he refused to remove the bangle. The teacher walked into another class and was there. He came with his gang, and not the teacher, gave him a wound. There was blood everywhere. Even when the teacher wanted to retaliate, his friends just barricaded the teacher not to get her killed. By so doing, meanwhile, they have already signed that they will be of good behavior. That if they go contrary to this, that the school authority should do them something. If you were to be in the position of the principal, what will you do?
I will not bring in the military to beat them.
What will you do?
I will not bring in the army to beat them.
Who will you bring? I want to know.
Chema,
I just want you to clear him on what to do.
Chema, if the principal needs to go back to teacher training or whatever it is to learn how to discipline students, that's fine.
I think you are not presenting
I will not bring in.
You're being biased. Because a teacher is in the hospital.
Of course I am biased.
The school principal should go. They threaten the teacher. They walk out. They don't want to let.
I will not. I will not bring in the military.
Why addressing the press?
So, Chairman,
does it show that student enter classroom? If you want to find out if Rumuapara teachers have been teaching, go and ask Roche. They have been going and winning trophies. Why is it that it's only this chunk, if I will say, that you will listen to? Why
Chairman, you support. You support.
There is gutter, whereas there is no gutter.
Okay, Chairman. Let's strike out the gutter. So you support bringing in the army to beat up your students?
Yes.
Chairman, I have given you sufficient time, Chairman. Congratulations to you. I did give Chairman enough time. I do have to move on. I am pressed for time. But it's quite amazing indeed. And I have to wrap this up right now. Now, I'm not suggesting that we don't have unruly students in our schools, or we don't have a desperate situation we need to attend to in terms of disciplining the students. And how Chema found that the most important part of that story is whether there's a gutter or not, which I think is the least important issue as far as the matter is concerned, is under no circumstances there cannot be any logical explanation for what happened today. Nothing can justify it as far as I'm concerned. And as far as Chema's allegation is concerned, oh yes, I am very biased as far as the matter is concerned. And I hope the authorities are going to investigate this and come to some logical, reasonable conclusion. All right, we've got business news coming up right now. Discussions continue afterwards. Please stay with us.